This conference will now be recorded.
Others? No doubts. Today we'll start with a new topic. So by this weekend, we'll be completing all of the syllabus. Okay. So, and today's session is also very important. Let me see if all of you have joined. Was that? Okay. So today we are going to look at employee profile or people profile. So how the fields are to be configured. How do you add a field in people profile?
Manage business
How do we add
configuration.
manage business configuration? If not manage business configuration, we can also do it from succession data model. But configuring a field from manage business configuration is easy than going to succession data model and adding the field. Now all of the functionalities what we can do in succession data model or country specific succession data model, you can do it from the manage business configuration itself. So that's why we don't have to go to succession data model. Only the base data model needs to be uploaded initially into customer's instance, and from there on, whatever data that you want to modify, you want to add, you want to delete, you can do it directly from manage business configuration. And whatever portlets that we have in manage business configuration, we see here in the people profile. Now this page is called people profile, but now the sequence of the portlets, if you see, these are different. Now we don't have personal information as the first portlet in manage business configuration. Okay, or we don't have these sections like biographical information or no contact information. You see these different portlets. So these are not available in manage business configuration. So to configure these portlets into employee profile, we need to go to configure people profile. Okay, so any portlet you see. Now before going to configure people profile, let's see what information we have for the employees. Now this is your header. This is header which contains header or a quick card which contains some information about the employee. The name of the employee, and then username. This is the username. Then some details like your title, location, business unit, division, department, okay, local time, then email ID and so on. So all of this information is showing up for the employee. Now, as and when there is a change in the data for employee, you make some changes in the job information or in personal information, this data gets updated. Now this one, it gets updated from the job information or in personal information. So what fields are to be configured? Why we only see these fields? So if customer says, I don't want to see all these fields, I just want to know only the employee name or some details like email ID and phone number, we can also configure this particular section. And for each and every employee, the background is different. Now these backgrounds can also be changed. Every employee, they can change their background. I cannot go and change their background, or I can go and change their picture, but I cannot go and change their background color. But employees can change the background picture as well. This background, what you see here. And this is called quick card. After quick card and the employee profile, we have the sections. All these things now, this table, what you see, these are all sections. Each section contain subsection. These are subsections. And then each subsection contain one big portlet or two small portlets. If the portlet is small, you have you can add two portlets or blocks. We call them either blocks or portlets. In data model or in managed business configuration, we call them HRIS elements. Okay, but here in the front end, we call them as a portlet or a block, which contains the fields. Now, if you want to modify these fields, you have to go to manage business configuration. Okay, but these sections or subsections or the portlets, what you see in each of the subsection, these are configured through configure people profile. Now, some portlets some subsections you might see two different portlets. These are two different portlets in contact information subsection. and this belongs to myself section. So in whichever section that we are in, you see this is highlighted. You go to employment section, whatever portlets that we have in employment section. So you have org information as a subsection and the job information or org information as a portlet. It's a big portlet. It is also a big portlet. And then you have job description, which is a small portlet, and we have one empty space here. We can also add one more block here. You can add the empty block here. Now all of these things can be configured from configure people profile. You go to configure people profile. You'll see here first section in configure people profile is general settings. Just click on general settings. On the general settings, when you click on general settings, on the right hand side, you see here configure header fields. You click on configure header fields. These are the fields which are enabled here into the header section. So if you don't want to see some of the information, like if you don't want to see photo, you can disable photo. Display name cannot be changed or cannot be removed. It is mandatory. You cannot remove this. But if you don't want username, you don't want photo, title, any of these things which you don't want, you can just go and remove them. Now I don't want any custom vaccination status. Just remove it. Okay. You don't want title or you don't want division and department. So these things can also be removed. Okay. Now apart from the standard fields, you can add up to 3 custom fields. You can add up to 3 custom fields. Here if you see these 3 custom fields. You can add up to 3 custom fields. From the custom fields, again you have a drop down here, so you can choose what data you want to display. You have matrix manager, you have proxy, you have human resource, or if you have you want to enable employee ID, these things can be enabled. These fields can be enabled. Custom fields, up to 3 custom fields can be enabled. Okay, now just save it. Okay, now this is saved. If I go here, refresh, you have Facebook and LinkedIn as well. You can also remove them as well. Facebook, LinkedIn. Now you see only minimum information is available now. Local time and these details. Okay, so all of these are coming from here. Configure header fields. You can go and modify them here. Allow employees to edit background image. Now this one, employees can go and edit background image. You see here, I don't see here background image because I've logged in as Laurent. I'm at CEO Wipro profile. So let me go to my profile. If I go to my employee profile, I can go change the background here. This is the header background. So go here, click on header. You see edit profile picture. I can change my profile picture and I can also change edit background image. On the background image, I can upload image from my desktop, or I can also upload from the library which is available. You click on the library, you have only one image here. Okay. Now these images can be managed here. Manage background image library. Okay. I want to allow employees to edit the background image. Disable background image uploading by employees. If I check this option, users will not be able to see this upload an image option. If you don't want to give them to upload images from their local system, you check this option. If you don't check this option, users will be able to upload from local system as well. If I want to upload some image, I can go here, let's say, I can upload the picture, save. It shows up the picture what I have uploaded. Now you can also upload some pictures as an admin here. You go add some pictures here, upload an image. Okay, you can pick some images. Okay, I have some pictures here. Let me add. Okay. So now you have this picture as well. Users will be able to select this picture from the drop down itself. Now we cancel it. If I go here, refresh, earlier it was showing only one picture. Now you can go to header, edit background image, choose from library. You'll find two pictures here, this one and this one. Okay, so you can upload some pictures here. Then next is your allow employees to upload audio file. Okay, so about me, that is my name, sorry. My name, you can record your file, you can record your name, you can how to pronounce your name. You just record that audio, then choose and then upload it here. It shows up. Users can go and view, know how to pronounce their name. Or you can also write some introductory text, or you can also show up the video. You can upload video and you can write some sample. Let me write some sample text here. Save. So it shows up on the home page. This is the sample text what we have added now. So all of these things can be enabled from here. About me video, about introductory text. Show percentage complete. If you enable show percentage complete, this will show up here. No percentage complete. And you can also choose the name format. If you have selected the name format at the company level, then it respects the company level name format. Or if you want to have your own name format like first name, last name, first name. Okay, so different options you have. So you can choose one of the values. So that's on your header settings. That's on your header settings. Now you refresh. I will see here profile completion percentage. You see here the profile completion here. Okay. Now this is on the general settings. Again here, these are all the sections. Now if you want to rename the section, you can just rename. It is showing as myself here. If you want to have it as my information, just go change it here. So this will change to my information. And these are your custom, these are your subsections. Under sections we have subsections. You can also change the names here. You can also change the subsection name here. And these are all portlets. And we have all standard portlets here, talent related, employment related, personal information. You see biographical, personal information, contact information, address information. You just drag and drop any portlet that you want to add. You just go drag and drop into the portlet. You see here, now I have two portlets here. I don't want, just remove block. This block is empty. And if you want to add any block, you just drag and drop the portlets here. Employment related, personal information related, then job profile builder, and we have custom blocks. Okay, so all of these things can be done from here. Now, if you want to have your own section, you can also add a new section. Let's say I want to add a new section. Okay, I want to name it as Wipro section, and subsection, name it as Wipro subsection. And if you want to add a portlet, you just drag and drop. Which one do you want to add? Maybe org chat. Okay, just save it, and you can also move wherever you want. Now I want this Wipro section to show up immediately after personal information. So just drag this up. Just hence. Okay, I've dragged this immediately after my information and save it. Now, when you create a new section, you have to go and add the permission. If it is new subsection or a new portlet which is added to the subsection, then you don't have to give permission. But if it is only a new section, then you have to add the permissions. And these permissions can be controlled from manage permission roles. Go to manage permission roles, and under employee views, you'll find all of these sections. You go to your role. Permissions, employee views. You'll find here Wipro section. This one is to be enabled. You don't want some of the sections, you can just remove them. Okay. Just remove some of them which you don't want to add. Okay. Say done. I've added my section. I'm saving it. Okay. Now you go to employee profile. Just refresh. Now you see all of these sections, right? I will also see our own section, the custom section, what we have created. So here Wipro section. Since we have only one subsection, it is not showing this drop down. And under Wipro subsection, we have added a org chart. This is standard. Okay. Now, sometimes you may have to add a custom portlet. Now, these custom portlets are not created in managed business configuration or succession data model. You cannot create any custom portlets. Now, all of these custom portlets can be created from configure object definition. Okay, you go here. What do we do in configure object definition? What do you generally do?
We define the objects.
What objects are defined? Either MDF or generic objects. Now, all of these MDF or generic, these are standard objects. MDFs are generally standard. Now, you can also create your own object. Okay, like you have department, you want to have a sub-department or a function or org unit or a subdivision. So you can create these objects, right? So they become the generic objects. You can also create a custom portlets for employee profiles. There's a difference between a custom portlet and the generic object. Generic objects are used to maintain data and manage data. Whereas for the custom portlet, you maintain the data in people profile. Okay. So some cases or most of the cases, your customer will ask you to create the custom portlets. If the standard SuccessFactors application doesn't provide the necessary information, or let's say I want to track some information about the employee which is not available in the standard SuccessFactors application, like I want to add some details of the employee like medical history, or if the company has a policy of issuing uniforms to the employee, where they want to track how many uniforms have been issued, how when was the last time the uniform was issued, or any assets issued to be tracked, or I want to track the transportation details of the employee. So all of these things can be configured as a custom blocks or custom portlets, and the data can be maintained in these portlets. Okay, let's see how to create a custom portlet or a custom block for employee profile. Now, what portlet you want to add? Can somebody give me an example? Anything? Medical history?
Education, medical, experience.
Yeah, one. You tell me one. You create your own portlets. Okay.
Okay.
So let's go and create medical history. I'll show you how to create one portlet. Any number of portlets can be created and added on the employee profile. Clear? So what all information do you want to track under medical history? This is the portlet name. But what fields you want to see in the medical history?
Like a blood group,
Whether
blood group.
Okay,
COVID
blood group.
is
What is
positive rate.
what do you want? What do you want to store in blood group? So do you want to give this as an open field for employee where employees will go and just enter the value O positive, O negative, B positive, B negative, that, or you want to give a pick list value?
Pick list value.
Pick list. Now, if you don't give pick list, what happens? Some users will type O positive as OP, this one, and some will enter it as O positive, and some will enter as O space plus and then VE. Okay, some will enter as O plus VE, this one. So for only one O positive, you have these many values. So you'll have O negative, no, O positive, A plus B plus all of those. Again, reporting it would be different. If you try to extract the report and see how many employees have got O positive, then it will show you have to select all of these values. So if you give it as a pick list, then user will only choose the values from the pick list. Okay. So we'll have to create a pick list. That's fine. This is called the data type. This is called data type. This is field. Okay. Now I want one field called blood group. Okay. Next. What else? Height in centimeters. Okay. Want to store number. Weight in kgs.
Ages.
Okay. This one also number. Okay. What else can be added? I want a minimum of 12 to 15 fields.
Past diseases, if any, affected.
Past diseases.
Description maybe.
Vaccination.
If
Yeah, vaccination status.
so, for vaccination, we have a separate portlet. SuccessFactors have given a separate portlet called vaccination. So should be having it here. If not, we can enable that. Okay. So we have a separate section called vaccination where you can add all of the information. But still, if you want to add vaccination, COVID vaccination. COVID vaccination, what do you want to store here? This is string. I'll add it as string. String means text or number. You can add any text or any numbers. COVID vaccination, whether the employee is vaccinated, yes or no. Now, yes or no, we can use the field or data type called Boolean. Use a data type called Boolean. Okay. Now, vaccination date. If vaccination is done, I want to track the vaccination date as well. So this is date field. Okay. Okay. So medical history. Okay.
Can we also attach a prescription?
Past medical history. Okay. This one I will have it as past medical history, if any. Sorry, what do you want?
Medication
Consultation,
details.
like the prescription.
I'll say family doctor, where you enter the name of the doctor and then
allergies.
allergies. What do you want? This allergies text Let's
It
see
can
as
be
text.
pick list.
If you want it as a pick list, you have to create a pick list. If it is of text, user can input any value.
Venu, can we make allergies like there can be different allergies like allergies with the nuts and I don't know different kind of allergies, and along with that can we add other wherein
Yes.
user
Now,
can write down specifically.
no. If it is pick list, user can only choose the value. Okay, where you can have other as a option, and if others, then you want this field to be maintained. This is a string. Okay.
So based on the pick list value, this others will field will appear or not appear. Like it depends, right? So we can
Yeah.
make that setting also.
Yeah. How many fields we have
Because
in total? 9. I need more. What else
Medical
can be tried?
Numbers
insurance
3.
for medical insurance.
Sorry.
Medical insurance, and you can add nominee for medical
Okay.
insurance also.
Medical insurance. Okay. And what should be this one?
A string, I
Uh,
think.
it can be a
Insur-
number of companies will be there, so we can have it as a pick list.
It's difficult to add all the companies na, in pick list.
Yes or no?
we can also add disability if
Means
any kind of.
one relationship with nominee.
Nominee.
Okay. This as a pick list. Okay. Disability.
And
Okay.
medical
This
certificates,
one.
if any.
Yeah. Dependents we have actually dependents we have a separate portlet where you can add all the dependent details. Yeah. Go ahead. What's that? What is that?
Medical certificate kind of.
Now, okay. You want to have medical certificate. So here you want to scan the copy and attach. Okay. So have it as attachment field. You can also store attachment. Okay. I think this would be sufficient. Just to show you, I'll add location, which is foundation object. Okay. Just to show you how to add a object, a generic object or foundation object or MDF object. I'll show you one field. Now all of these fields are to be created. Now these are all your custom fields into your custom portlet called medical history. Now let's go to configure people profile. Configure people profile. What's that? Sorry, configure object definition. I'm sorry. Now, what you can do is, if you go to object definition, you will only see all the standard ones, or if there are any custom ones, you can go and view or edit. But if you want to create a new object, then you have to go to create new object definition. And if it is a custom object, it always starts with cust underscore. It always starts with cust underscore. The ID, at least the ID, it will start with cust underscore. Okay. Now I want to call it as Wipro medical history. Okay. I want to call it as Wipro medical history. This is just the code. You cannot change the code. Later, if you want to use this object somewhere else, you have to refer this code. Okay. Effective dating, which is a mandatory field. Now, effective dating, you have options from parent, none, and basic. If you have effective dating as none, now first we'll go with none. So if you have none, that means you don't want to use a effective dated portlet, okay, which will not have any date. Okay, field you can have, like you want to have a date of birth field, or you want to have some date field where you want to maintain some data, you can add. But the portlet itself, it will not be a effective dated portlet. Okay, effective dating, if you see, none. If it is basic, if it is a basic, then effective dating allows you to enter any record with a particular effective date. Okay, like all the objects that we have created, location or pay range or pay grade, so all of these are effective dated portlets. Okay, and then we have multiple changes per day, and if you choose multiple changes per day, then it allows multiple entries per date. Like if you go to job information and see the employee profile, you will see multiple information, or on the same day if you have multiple records, you can see that. Let me go to job information. You see here, on the same date you have two records. It shows as 1 of 2, 2 of 2. And if I insert one more record with the same date, it will become 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. Every time you add one record in the history with the same effective date, it will change the sequence. 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, and 4 of 4. So this is multiple changes per day. And then you also have from parent. And if you use from parent, now basically the from parent is used for child objects, so that you can match the record with the parent's effective date. Okay, now example can be your job information and employment details. Now employment details, the hire date is Jan 1st, 1998. Okay, and in job information, the first record is the hire record, which is the same date, 1998. Okay, Jan 1st, 1998. Now, if I try to insert a record which is before 1998, if I go here, try to insert a record with 1960. It says effective date for new record must be later than hire date. So it will consider the hire date, which is the employment details. The source for the hire date is always employment details. So this is parent. That's why when we upload the data for employees details, first we upload basic import and then your employment details. After employment details, if you have given Jan 1st, 1998 as the hire date in the employment details, you have to insert job history, the first record, the hire record with the same date. It doesn't allow you to input a different date, because this is the parent-child relationship. So you can choose any of these effective dating, from parent, none, or basic. Now let's say I want to use a basic portlet, basic effective dated. As you have changed the effective dating to basic, it results in addition or deletion of system provided mandatory fields. Because I have changed the object to effective dated, system will add some fields which are mandatory, because effective date you have to mandatorily maintain. So that's fine. I want to maintain that. API visibility. If you want to move the data from SuccessFactors to any other application, so do you want API to read the data or edit the data, or you don't want this to be visible for APIs? Editable, read only, not visible. If it is read editable, the values of these portlets will be converted to a different value and then move to the other application. If it is read only, you can only pull whatever data you have and then you can push it to the third party application or your legacy systems. If it is not visible, it won't show up for the APIs. Okay, let's say editable, anything editable or read only. Status is active. MDF version history. If you want to maintain the history of this portlet, okay, basically for the MDF objects, if you want to maintain the data so that you can audit when was the record created, know who has created, how many records are there. So if you want to see all of that history, or know if some records are deleted, you can go and select the MDF version history as complete history. Or if you don't want to maintain any history, you say delete history, or you can say no, either no, delete history, or complete history. Okay. If you say no, your history records are not stored. If you say delete, okay, so you'll not be able to see in the audit reports, you'll not be able to see the deleted history records. Complete history system will show all the data which you have maintained.
I think delete history means like if user will delete any entry, then that will show in audit log.
Yes. When you
Only deletion record it will carry.
yeah
Yeah.
when you delete the record, these objects are in the these objects will show up in the internal history or audit tables. Okay. Complete history, it will show up all the data. Okay. And then default screen for every record or every object that you create for the employee portlet, you need to maintain the default screen as well. Default screen meaning how do you want to show these fields? Now here you cannot maintain the sequence or the type, like how do you want to show it in the front end? If you want to have the portlet as a vertical or horizontal, or you want to have within this portlet, if you want to have different sections, you can maintain that in the default screen. Okay, once you create the object, we'll go and design the screen as well, and we'll add that screen here. Okay, label, I want to label it as Wipro medical history, and to maintain it as Wipro medical history. Description, it is blank, you can leave. API subversion, you can leave it as it is, version 1.2 or 1.1. Subject user field is very, very important when you're creating a portlet. When you're creating the portlet for employee profile, subject user field, the first field is external code, and the data type of this field is set as string. So if you want to use a portlet in manage data as an object, then this is fine. External code can be set as string. But if you want to use this portlet for the employees, then the data type of external code should always be set as user. And the field data type for the field for which the data type is set as user, okay, in the first field, the external code, the standard field, that will be set as a subject user field when you save the record. You don't have to maintain the field ID here. Once you save the record, system will automatically update the subject user field to external code only if it is set to, only if the data type is set to user. Workflow routing, if you want workflow to be added to your portlet, you can go choose the workflow. So whatever workflows that we have created, if you want to use workflows, you can choose the workflow as well. Pending data, if you want to show the pending data when you create a workflow, if you want to show the pending data, it will show as yes. Okay. To do category, now in the last release, they have made it optional. They have made it view only. By default, all the custom objects, it will be only generic object change. Okay, so that even if you use a workflow, the workflow type will be generic object change request. Object category, if you want to categorize into uncategorized configurations, or if you want to just for your reporting purpose, if you want to categorize into different categories, you can choose one of the category here. Okay, and the fields you have to create here. Now by default, system has given us 3 fields: external code, external name, and effective start date. Because we have selected the effective dating as basic, we have these 3 fields which are mandatory: effective start date, name, and external code. External code we have already used user. Now why do we used the external code as user? Because every record we maintain it for an employee. Each record you maintain it for the employee. Okay, that's why you have to maintain the external code as the user. Now these records can also be maintained in managed data or also in employee profile. Okay, so you can search when you're searching for the record in the managed data, you search with the user ID or username. Okay, so we'll start with the fields here. First field is blood group. Oh, before going to blood group, let's go to pick list center. We'll see how to add a pick list. Now you have to create some pick lists, right? So go to pick list center. So these pick lists we have to create first. This one, and this one. Okay, we'll see first if you have any pick list. So you have blood group here. What are the values that you have? Okay, so you have a good number of values. I'll use this. I'll create some pick list. No, definitely you'll not have any allergies. So I'll create the pick list here. Pick list center. So there is no pick list called allergies. So relationship, let me check. Position relationship, employment relationship, family relationship. Let me choose, see what we have. So here, okay, so let me have this code here. I want to use this. And I'll create pick list, this one, allergies. What values you want to have? Now, if you want to create a new pick list, you can go click add code allergies, allergy. Okay. So this is the code I want to use. Active, start date, pick list is no, you can set it as active or inactive. Effective start date, this is effective dated. So choose some effective date, maybe from Jan 1st. Display order, either it can be alphabetical or number. The values what you know store, either if it is alphabetical, you have to store it in alphabets, or if it is a number, you have to store it in number. Parent pick list. If you want this to be a child pick list, you can choose the parent pick list. Now, when do we use parent and child pick list is, let's say you want to have two pick lists, one is a country and second is the state. Okay, so states, you maintain all the states, Indian states, US states, no, for all the countries you maintain the states. And the parent pick list, you maintain all the countries. Okay, so for each country, when you select a country, I want only those states to be displayed which are tagged to that particular country. So state is your child pick list. So every time you create a state, you go add the parent pick list. What is the parent pick list that you want to choose? So that is your parent pick list. Legacy pick list ID. Earlier we used to have a different pick list, one for the MDF objects and one for the employee. Okay, so when you migrate the data, so if you want to use that legacy pick list ID, you can use to add the legacy pick list ID. Now you don't need, so just leave it as it is. Now this is the pick list what we have created. So what values you want to have, just go add here. Now tell me what values you want to have.
Nuts allergy.
Allergic to nuts. Okay, so just code and label will do. Create.
Venu,
Next
like you
record.
said, parent and child pick list. So is it the same like cascade pick list?
Yes.
Does it have the same meaning? Okay.
Yes. Okay. Next. One is allergic to nuts.
Allergic to dust can be, we are just, maintaining some
Allergic to
data.
milk
Yeah, milk.
or dairy products. D, I'll say. Okay. Add, you can add any number of values. Allergic to dust. What else? Enough? What else? Okay.
Allergy for sun or ultraviolet rays.
I'll say others. Okay. Any number of values can be added. Okay. So this is the pick list what we have created. Now you want to add values to the existing pick lists, you can also do that. Go to blood group. If you want to add your, some values of your own, you go just add here. It allows you to add. Okay. Clear? So this is fine. So I have 3 pick lists. I'll go here, configure object definition. First is blood group. Now the field ID, the first one is field, what you see here, the name. It should not contain any space. Okay. So this is just the ID of the field. How many characters you want to show? You can leave it blank, or if you want to show, now if it is a text, you want to allow only 10 characters or 15 characters, you can enter the text here. Okay. If it is a pick list, you can leave it. Or even if it is a pick list, if you have lengthy pick list, I don't want to show all of that values, I want to show only up to 15 characters, you can also restrict that. Okay. This one, choose it as pick list. Go to pick list. Details, when you choose data type as pick list or foundation object or generic object, you need to add the valid value source. Always when you choose the data type as pick list or foundation object or your generic object, you should choose the valid value source. Now the valid value source should be the ID of the pick list or code of the pick list. Okay. Hide old values if you have some history. Okay. And if there are some records which are already deleted. Okay. And if you don't want to show, like now if you go to MDF data, the details, some details you'll show it as striken off. Okay. And you don't want to show those old values, you can say hide old values. No. So for pick list, you don't need this data. You can remove, you can keep it as it is. Decimal precision, when you add a field called decimal, how many decimal points you want to show, that you can add decimal precision. Include inactive users. If you are using this data type as user, okay, then if you want to show inactive users also in the list, you can say include inactive users. UI field renderer. Now basically when you add a pick list, system will show the values of both the ID and the name. Now pick list you have, let's say for the blood group pick list, we have A plus and then A positive as the name and A plus as the code. So system will show A positive, in brackets it will show you the code of the object. And if you don't want to display the code of the object, you can write the UI field renderer here. So system won't show up the pick list values there. Pick list ID is there. Transient, some fields where you don't want to store any data, but system should show up some value in the front end. Like if you go and view the employee's age, system should go change the age every day. But system will not store the data in the back end, but it will display the data only in the front end. So that is a transient field. Transient fields will not store any data in the back end. It only shows up in the front end. Okay, on view. Help text, if you want to give some information to the user saying that what is to be chosen, what has to be selected. So you can have some help text like choose blood group from drop down. Choose blood group from drop down. Mask the values if you want to mask. Okay, like gender field, you'll see, or national IDs, you'll see the data as masked. 2% information. This is masked. Okay, you click on show, it shows up the value. Show trailing zeros. If you have zeros, you can show up default value. If you want to maintain, you can maintain. Hide seconds. This is for the date and time field. Required, whether it is mandatory, yes or no. Okay, I want this field to be mandatory, so yes. Visibility, editable. Status active, what is the label that you want to show? I'll say blood group. Here's blood group. Cascade, if you want to cascade now, like the pick list values, if you want to cascade, you can say save. Okay, and rules, if you want to add any, you can add. You save the record. Okay, now rest of the fields. Next one, height in centimeters. Okay, so this is height. You go here. Let's say I want to height. I want only 3 characters. Okay, 150, 170, 180, 200. So I want system to allow only 3 characters. Okay. So it is a number. So you have attachment, autocomplete, system will automatically complete, or auto number, Boolean, which is yes or no. This is CLOB, which allows you like no text. This is similar to your text field, but it allows no lengthy characters. Okay. Character long objects. This is CLOB is character long objects, where you can store up to 1 million or 2 million of text in it. Data source should not be used. This is basically used by the Java object definitions. We will not be using data source. Date, it will only display date and time. It will, along with the date, you can also choose the time as well. Decimal values, if you want to put decimal values, 125.5. So you go with decimal. Okay, if you say decimal, so let's say I want to 5 characters. Okay. Enum, if you want to refer the some values, like if you have direction where there are only 4 directions, east, west, north, and south. Okay, so for these values we have the standard set of enums. So you should always go and use that value. If you use that, then even for this enum you have to maintain the valid value source, so that system will pick those values. Okay, and then foundation object, like you want to use location, or you want to use a pay component, or you want to use any of the foundation objects into this object, you can use foundation. Similarly, generic object, number, pick list, string is text, time, translatable field. Now some fields where you want to have the text maintained in multiple languages, you have the as a translatable. And then user. So height 10 centimeters, I will have this as label. Okay. And this one is weight. I'll say 3. I want user to round off, so I'll say number. Okay. Level, weight in kgs. Label as weight in kgs. Any doubts here so far? Past medical history. Medical history. 256 characters. String. String is just text. Label it as past medical history. And COVID vaccination. I want to use this yes or no. Yes or no is Boolean. You can say Boolean. You don't have to maintain anything here. Just go maintain the label. Now, if you want to have help text, choose yes or no from drop down. Okay. Done. If it is mandatory, you can just add it as a mandatory field. Vaccination date. This is a date field. So go choose date. Done. Then family doctor. Field can be anything here. 100 characters. String. Family doctor. Allergies, we have a pick list. It is a pick list. So you go choose. This is the pick list ID. So I need to add pick list ID. I'll say allergy. Okay. And this one, if others, 100 characters. String, if others. So done. Medical insurance again, and this is also a Boolean. You'll just choose yes or no. Done. Next is nominee, which is also a string. What else? Relationship with nominee. Okay. This one I want to show up 25 characters. Again, this is a pick list. And if it is pick list, then you need to add the pick list ID. Relationship with nominee. Done. What else? Disability. Let's say I want to have only 32 characters here. Okay, this is translation field. You want translation field, then also you can add medical certificate attachment. This is attachment. Done. Last one is location. Just to show you, you can bring up values from foundation object as well. Location object ID is small l. Okay, maintain that and say done. Okay, so these are the fields. Now if you want to associate any object, you can associate here, or now this is a secured object. So the permission category is showing us miscellaneous permission. That means this object, when we save, this will have to give permissions as well. And the subject user field is blank now. You go save the record. Cust underscore if others. Okay, so somewhere we have blank if others here. See, if others, I'll just remove others. We have space in the field there, so it was not accepting. Object is a role-based permission object. So you need to grant the permissions. So first step, what we did, let me write down the steps. Create pick list. This is done in pick list center. Second is create object. This is done in configure object definition. This is secured object. So add permissions. So this is done in manage role based permissions. Sorry, manage permission roles. Manage permission roles. So now if you see subject user field, this got updated to external code. Now let me go back to manage permission roles, and this would be under miscellaneous permissions. So first go check the object permissions, manage permission role. Go to your role. I'm selecting the role in which this user is added. Any doubts here so far? Oh, it's already 8. So after permissions, we'll stop it here then. Miscellaneous. It would be somewhere under here. Miscellaneous permissions. Okay. Miscellaneous permissions. Search for Wipro. Medical history. View current. View history. I want to create, insert, correct, delete, import, export. Okay. Say done. Save changes. I've created a pick list, I've created an object, I've added the permissions. So 50% of the configuration for your custom object is done. So rest of the 50% we'll do it tomorrow. Okay? Clear? Yes? No? Doubts?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Venu,
Hmm.
if you want to show this custom portlet, just in role we can configure the usernames, right? Only that particular user if you want to see.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Can you come again? You have created
This
you have created
okay.
object.
Okay, we
Now,
have created one custom.
if you want me to edit the data or look at the data, you should grant me permission to go and view and edit it.
Okay, only certain employees need to see this custom portlet.
Hmm. So you
So
need to
in this
create
case,
a group first. Which are the employees you want this portlet permissions to be granted to?
okay,
Always granted group, target group.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
What else?
When on random UI rendered, so you said
UI
if
field
we want,
renderer.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I did not get the usage of that field.
Okay. If it is UI field renderer, there is a code here. Let me do one thing. Configure object definition. Go to configure object definition. Object definition, you have Wipro medical history. Now, we are using the pick list, right? The employee profile, if I go to employment job information, let me see if there are any pick lists. These are MDF objects, but again, you will also have pick list. I'll go to pick list only. Personal information only.
Preferred language.
Not showing up. Oh, it is not showing up the values here. Need some field where it shows up both the pick list ID and pick list value. You see here pay group, it is showing as both
Yes,
ID and name. Now this is actually pay group is MDF object. Okay. Now this is event reason. It is showing ID and the name. Okay.
name.
So wherever you have pick list also, it is same thing. It will show both ID and name. In some cases, if you don't want to display the ID of the field, then you go here for MDF objects and pick list, you can go maintain here UI field renderer, this text. This again standard display pick list without external code. And say done. Save. So tomorrow
And
when
from
we
where did you
maintain,
get this? Like,
so we have only two options: display
did you
pick
type
list
it
without
yourself?
sorry.
Okay, go on, Vinu.
Yeah. So here,
So,
if I go to pick this pick list allergies, you see here this one. This is the standard code. You go
and from where did you
search
get
and
that code?
that one is a standard one. We've been using it. See here, display pick list without external code.
Okay,
Okay.
okay,
Similarly, you can also have MDF code as well. UI field renderer.
Okay.
Okay,
Like
so
to
it will
show
not
and
display. It will not display the external code in the front end when we maintain data. For
okay.
other pick lists, because we have not maintained that display UI field render, it will show both external code and name. For this field, it won't show up.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Venu.
Okay. So we'll stop it here. We'll continue tomorrow. So we need to design the UI as well. So designing part we'll do tomorrow. Designing and assigning it to the employee portal, employee profile. Okay. So we'll catch up tomorrow. Thank you.
And also, Venu, I'm so sorry to bring it at this point of time. You said that you'll take the association later. So when will you take it? Like after this topic or when?
Association, what do you need? Yeah, we'll discuss after this session, maybe probably tomorrow session.
Okay, sure.
What do you need in association?
Association, see, there are four kind of association: MDF to MDF, and then MDF to FO. All these. So it gets. I sometimes get confused between where to maintain external code. I mean, basically in maintaining it, linking these associations, I get confused. And if we have position management active in the system, we have to manage it. We have to maintain it there also. So
Yeah, we'll discuss it
I mean,
tomorrow session. Yeah.
okay. So if you even show me the one example of each type, that would be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.